Prices have risen at their fastest rate in almost 30 years. Inflation climbed to 5.4% in December. It has been driven up by the soaring cost of food and energy, amongst other things. The figure is more than double the Bank of England's target for inflation. The last time inflation was higher was in March 1992, when it was 7.1%. And with gas and electricity prices expected to rise sharply in the coming months, experts are warning there is much worse to come. Our economics editor Faisal Islam has more.
Up go the prices. This independent food retailer in Ashford in Kent has to move rapidly to keep up.
Every week when I get my invoice, I check it against my price list. Oh, need to put that up because, you know, the cost has gone up, and some of them go up in between the catalogue being published every other month to the invoice coming through. Just tick these off.
As a supplier of locally produced food, but also as consumers and parents, today's figure reflects the very real experience for the likes of Katie.
The price of everything's gone up. You have to make decisions as to what luxuries you then want. It's not, you know, we haven't been on holiday not just because of a global pandemic, but maybe because we can't afford it either. You know, there's various different reasons why, and I think it's all come in to a head all at once.
40 miles to the north is the Isle of Grain, where goods, electricity and gas enter the country from around the world, and where the UK is importing energy at record high prices. It's been these energy costs that have pushed inflation so high, but in December that spread to food prices, pushing the main measure up to 5.4%, the highest level for 3 decades, well over the 2% target for inflation set for the Bank of England. And forecasters fear that overall inflation could go as high as 7% in the spring. That can be seen in this increasingly common sight, a tanker of frozen liquid American gas unloading a third of daily British demand in Kent. Tankers such as this that have come from Texas are only here in record numbers in Europe and the UK because of the record prices your energy companies and power companies have paid for that gas that normally goes to the Far East. It means that there's an inevitable, inescapable impact on consumer bills and potentially for the taxpayer. The only question is when this is paid for and whether this will lead to a further round of price rises and higher inflation. The inflation rate shooting up means that some bills pegged to these figures, such as mobile phone, broadband and some rail fares, will automatically go up too. All of that is putting pressure on company bosses, like here at this high-end radiator factory in Birmingham, to raise wages for his workers.
We've paid them a winter fuel allowance off our own backs because we recognise we don't want them to be worrying about how they're going to keep the heating on, you know, particularly for a business like ours, which is about heating.
Yeah.
So we've done that with them, but I can see that they are going to have to start coming back to us and looking for more money. Of course they are. Cost of living is going up.
You're seeing the spiral coming.
Absolutely. Here comes the spiral. Those discussions are taking place.
But that's going to increase prices again.
Of course it is. So we've had 3 price increases. We've been forced to put our prices up 3 times.
The Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey expressed very great concern today about the crisis in Ukraine prolonging the energy shock. More inflation is already in the pipe, and not now just in our radiators. Faisal Islam, BBC News.
The US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who is on a visit to Ukraine, has warned that Russia could launch an attack on Ukraine at very short notice. Russia has around